understand this. Okay, so this is, I'm just going to not talk too much about that. Quran refers to the culture of that time. Quran talks about their superstitions. Quran contempts them. It talks about their beliefs and calls upon them, like, see what you're thinking. Look at your belief system. For example, وَإِذَا بُشِّرَ أَحَدُهُمْ بِالْحُسْنَى, when they were given the glad tidings, when they were given the good news that they're going to have a baby girl, ظَلَّ وَجْهُهُ, their face will become gloomy, مُسْوَدًّا هُوَ كَظِيمٌ, as he suppresses his anger. You will not understand why would they do this. You will have to look at their literature. You will have to understand that culture. Only then you would understand their reaction. Okay? Does it make sense? I was just trying to give you an example. Unless you don't know these aspects of the language, you would not understand this. What were the characteristics of that Arab society? What were the things that they regarded as good and bad? What were the standards of good and evil in that society? What was the nature of their religion and their traditions? What were the foundation of their culture, and what were the constituents of their social fabric? What were their political ideologies and daily involvements and hobbies? Were they really a bunch of uncivilized people whom Islam elevated to the status of the conquerors of the world? Or in spite of their savageness, they did possess certain features and characteristics which made them eligible to receive a book as lofty as the Quran, and they were bestowed with the status of witnesses to the truth by the Almighty. Why do I say this? Why does the author say this? The author says this because we portray sometimes the people before Islam as absolute savages, Vikings. They didn't know what to do, they didn't know how to live, and Islam came and they totally changed their lives. When you review the literature, the Arab literature at that time, you will see that's not true. That's not true, okay? The other thing is, when you read the Arab literature talks about the things that are happening in their life. I took a camel, I camped there, I did this, I did that, etc., etc. Our literature in subcontinent, for example, Urdu literature does not do that. You know, there are famous poets, stanzas from Ghalib and Allama Iqbal, and they talk about Bulbul, right? Bulbul. Have anybody ever seen Bulbul in subcontinent India? No, it's not even there. It's actually in Persia, it's in Iran. Okay, so their culture was actually influenced, so they're actually talking in their language. Our literature was actually written in their language. Okay, but that's not the case of the Arab language, Arab literature that was written. They actually speak about their own literature. What were the things they liked? So when you read this literature, you would get to know the good qualities of the Arabs before they received Islam. What were the things that made them being selected for this amazing task? All right, the correct answer to all this question is only found in this book, and it is the answer through which the various allusion, references, and insinuation and implication of the Quran becomes evident to the student with their true literary splendor and magnificence. That it is not merely the language, but also all of these things to which a student of the Quran must consult this classic literature. Next time, inshallah, we're going to talk about what those differences are. I've talked about this, that there's a lot of differences in style. I've talked about this, the way the word was constructed. This is also very different. Next time, inshallah, we're going to take examples from Quran. And I'm going to tell you how this example today, if it were to be written, people would understand it very differently than how people understood it 1500 years ago. To summarize what we talked about today, Quran was revealed in the spoken Arabic language of the Quraysh 1500 years ago. That language is very different from today's Arab in vocabulary, idiom, and style and construction. One must therefore understand that Arabic to understand Quran. And the primary source of understanding that Arabic is Quran itself, number one. The secondary source of understanding that Arabic is the literature of that time. And Hadith can help you understanding that Arab. Help you. But it cannot be used as an ultimate witness or evidence to prove the meaning of the words of the Quran. Jazakallahu khair. Thank you for your attention. I'm happy to take any questions, and then we're all done. Any questions? It's pretty self-explanatory. All I want you to keep in mind are these summary points, and inshallah next time we're going to talk about a fascinating different topic. Thank you for your attention. Barakallahu fi.